Britain, various forms of Buddhism are taught and practiced, but the two main sects are usually recognized as being Theravada and Mahayana Buddhism. When Siddhartha was born, it was predicted that he would grow up to become a great man, either a supreme king or a great religious teacher who would give up the wealth and power that he was born into. He was brought up in his father's palace, amid the comforts and pleasures normal for someone of his princely status. Every luxury was bestowed on him by his father, who wanted to prevent Siddhartha from finding out about the suffering and death that existed in the world. Most of Siddhartha's life was spent in the palace, but on his journeys into the city with Channa, his charioteer, he experienced the sight of pain, suffering and death, which enabled him to gain a fuller meaning of life. At the age of 29, he left behind his family and property in search of the meaning and purpose to life. For 6 years, he led a life of strict discipline, often only eating enough to stay alive. But even this did not provide him with an answer, and so he gave up this extreme lifestyle in favour of more moderate methods. He then sat down under a tree to meditate and think about the nature of life. During this time, he was tempted by all kinds of things, but he was able to overcome these and understand the truth about life. From then on, Siddhartha became known as the Buddha. For the rest of his life, the Buddha set out to teach others how to be free from suffering and gain enlightenment. His teaching is often called the middle way, because it teaches people to keep a middle path between all extremes, and is referred to as the Dharma. There is no God, nor is there any authoritarian word of God. There are many ideas about what the Buddha actually taught, and different countries and peoples have various ways of explaining and remembering them. Even so, there are certain basic teachings agreed by those who follow the Buddha. These are known as the Four Noble Truths. These teach that everything and everybody changes, and because of this, there is always suffering. This is often caused by greed, hatred, and lack of knowledge, and makes people frustrated and unhappy. This suffering can be ended, however, by ridding oneself of the craving for things. This can be achieved by following the Noble Eightfold Path, which leads a person towards greater contentment and happiness.